Right out of the gate in its first season, it won 8 Emmys and made history. The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel. And we have its creators, its key movers and shakers here, Amy Sherman Palladino and Daniel Palladino right here. Welcome, guys.
Hi. Hello. How are you?
You know, and speaking of that show, we're now talking about the 3rd season here and all that's gone on. And I want to catch people up on it a little bit first by showing a clip. And this is actually from Daniel, a show that you wrote and directed, episode 7. So let's take a look at The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel, season 3.
Go, 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 go.
Excuse me. Come on. Morning.
Right on time.
Told ya. Morning, guys. Hi, Irene.
Let's get a mic check.
Mic check. Uno dos. Uno dos.
Good for me, Dickie.
Let's do it. Take it from the top, Mitch.
Housewife.
What else?
Rolling.
Paramus Ford has the best deals in town. They're so good that even I can understand the savings. And I'm a woman.
Perfecto. Next.
With its natural mildness and gorgeous aftertaste, more expectant mothers prefer Pall Mall cigarettes over any other brand.
Can I prove that?
No idea. Next.
Run to buy hosiery that never runs at B. Altman's nylon sale. Ends Thursday. I used to work at B. Altman.
Don't care. Next.
Bell Brothers Shoes is opening a brand new Staten Island location, and we're opening with a bang.
Holy fuck!
Sorry.
No one told me about a balloon. That is seriously fucked up, Dickie. A little warning next time.
If the big balloon next to her head wasn't a tip-off?
I'm gonna need a minute.
You're gonna need a minute now, Dickie. This is very upsetting.
Jesus Christ, she's so fragile. Great job.
Thank you, sir. Sign here.
Got another housewife spot at 12:30. You interested?
We'll take it. $5. We can retire now.
This game is piecework. You do a lot, you make a lot.
Let's go.
Later, guys.
See you at 12:30. And don't be late.
Studio B. Midge Maisel, here for her 9 o'clock.
Nice and punctual. Here's the script.
Thank you, sir.
It's a spot for business in the Bronx.
Playing a 4-year-old girl?
Guess so.
Why didn't you just get a 4-year-old girl?
They can't read. Check the mic.
1, 2, 1, 2. I'm a little girl.
Here's my next source of nightmares.
So it's just you today. We fill in the dad part later.
Got it.
Rolling.
Look at that. I want it.
Sounds good. Next line.
It's so big, Daddy. Wait,
What?
is this pornography?
It's not pornography.
Sounds like pornography.
It's not pornography. Keep going from the last line.
It's so big, Daddy. I want to lick it. This is pornography.
Definitely pornography.
No, look. She's a kid out with her dad. He's buying her an ice cream bar.
Yeah, a cat house.
Not at a cat house.
This is pornography.
It's not pornography.
Hey, that's my competition.
Nice work, Dickie. If you do a lot, you make a lot.
12:30, don't forget.
That is great. Wow, you look at the production value, everything you put into this show. It's very typical of what we see here, which is A+ in terms of a television series. I don't know how you guys keep it up. I know, Amy, you created this show sort of based on your own life. You know, growing up a little bit, right? Your father.
My father. Can't you tell the resemblance between Rachel Bryan and Don Sherman? Yeah. My father was a stand-up, so I grew up with stand-ups everywhere. You know, all of his friends were stand-ups. So you'd come home from school and it was like Broadway Danny Rose in the backyard. You know, so it's a lot of bum, a lot of smoking funny cigarettes and making each other laugh, and a lot of talking about the good old days in the Catskills and the Greenwich Village and, you know, the clubs and touring. So it just was sort of like there for the taking. So basically, when I was in a room with a bunch of Amazon guys going, what do you want to do next? And I literally had no ideas. I'm like, well, here's one. How about a 1950-something housewife who becomes a stand-up comic? And they're like, great. And I'm like, terrific. And I walked out, and then I had to figure out what that was. But it was, it's a lot of my dad's life and a lot of his stories and a lot of stuff I heard about growing up. We have stolen completely and not compensated my parents at all. And thrown it right into the show. So it's all of the childhood tragedy and drama has served me well. Here's why you don't go to therapy to work out your issues. Because then you got nothing to write about. So it was a little homage that time and a tip of the hat to my dad.
And it's so fun to watch. Like in season 3, we see like episode 5, for instance, she's going on tour, Midges, and that's something your father obviously did too.
Yeah.
And you've got those stories, but this is so gorgeously filmed at the Fontainebleau. I mean, the look of it, the way, the colors, all of that go into that. Is really great. And talk about your process here in writing an episode like that, taking this forward and taking it on location, taking it further as we go along.
Well, Dan and I decided a long time ago, like, as long as we were going to continuously shorten our lifespans by being in this business, like, it really had to be worth it. So we went out, we surrounded ourselves with the best of the best cast on the planet. David Mullen, the cinematographer from The Gods, Professor Mullen as we call him, Bill Groom, our production designer, Harry Potter as I call him. No one gets to keep their own name. I don't know what it is about our show. You know, Donna Zakowski does all of our gorgeous costumes, and everybody on our crew is so great and sharp and creatively driven and driven by the characters. You know, the characters are drive everything. So when we said we were going to go to Florida, everybody sort of knows we're not just going to like show a palm tree, you know, and like a duck and then put them against a wall and it's Florida. Like, we're going to go to Florida. And we went to Florida in June. I don't know if you've been in Florida in June, but it's horrible. It's so hot. And there's lightning storms that shut us down like every 15 minutes, where you'd be out and you'd get something, and then someone would go, lightning, and everyone would run inside and stand there until the lightning was 7.5 miles away.
Yeah, when the locals in Florida are going around saying it's hot, it is hot.
It's so hot.
I guess that's where hot came from.
You know, and all of our people are in wigs and corsets, and it was truly a labor of love, and everybody was in it to win it. But, you know, you go down there and you've got the beautiful beach and the Fontainebleau. That lobby they spent a fortune restoring that lobby. The lobby's gorgeous. And we went right in there and smashed into the chandelier, you know, like in 10 minutes. So, there you go. I think we fixed it. And then the Faena Hotel had this gorgeous little theater, like sort of a red jewel box of a theater that was just like, you know, when you have these lush, beautiful, gorgeous backdrops, like, it's so much easier for the actor to sort of dive in and kind of get lost in the idea that, you know, cell phones don't exist, which is why we've taken them from you and turned them off. So that's what's happening. And we were there for 2 weeks, and we all sweated our asses off for a long time, and almost didn't make it out because, like, everybody went to the airport, and then lightning hit and we couldn't get home. And I think we're still there. Are we still there? I don't know where we are anymore. But it was just a delight.
Daniel, you both write and direct, but unusually, when you talk to people, you're not writing, directing together. These are separate.
Oh, that's why we're so worried.
So you directed, you know, yours, and you write and direct yours, but you're co-showrunners. You're involved in every aspect here. And what I noticed is there is a signature wit. There is a signature thing running through this. It's almost like these two minds meld. In episode 5, for instance, you're setting it up with the rehearsals with Sophie, and, you know, hilarious lines where she doesn't even read the play, so she doesn't know there's a third character. You and your episode are watching the disaster of this play here. Mm-hmm. One of my favorite lines, by the way, is, why didn't you warn me about this? You know, why wouldn't you warn Jerry Lewis about not doing Raisin in the Sun? Hilarious. Great stuff. Yeah. Along the way. So how does that work? How does that collaboration with the...
How does it work?
Well, it works because I love her so much. It works because we break all the stories together. In fact, we're kind of working with our writers now, coming up with ideas for season 4. But we basically sit in a room with a select group of writers. It's a pretty small staff, and we hammer out all the details of all the stories together. So that way, Amy and I are in on that process of the broad strokes at least of all 8 episodes. And then when we get into writing them, we go separate. I mean, one of the keys to the partnership to get as much done as we do is we've always got to be at different places at different times. So
yeah, there's a lot to do on this show.
So she's directing, I'm writing. If she's in the writer's room, I'm on the floor. So we divide that up, and then we're always, you know, we've been doing this since Gilmore Girls. We're always very conscious of, you know, it's not a compliment if someone comes up and says, I knew that was your episode, Dan, when I saw it, because you don't necessarily want your...
Although mine has more fucks in it.
Yeah, hers always has more F-bombs. Mine had very discreet, artistic F-bombs. But, you know, we want the show to feel like the show from show to show to show. And we each have the things that we love. The opening that you just showed was a specific thing that I wanted to do. It was like 30 separate scenes. It was high energy. I knew the music I wanted to do. So we each have our things. Amy had the whole nightclub sequence in Florida, in Miami, that was so beautiful, and just with Rachel and Luke Kirby as Lenny Bruce. So we, you know, since Gilmore Girls, we've been trying to we've been wanting to work on a bigger scale, which this allows us to do, and we're always conscious of it should feel seamless from show to show to the best of our ability, and you shouldn't be able to tell that different people are doing different things.
And we promised everybody at the beginning, the promise is a woman's life who's very small is suddenly going to get bigger and bigger and bigger as she opens her eyes and turns around to what's really out there. And we sort of feel like it's kind of our job to deliver that, so that, you know, she can't just go on tour without it really being to the audience what it is to Midge. You know, when the first time that Midge gets to go on tour and step onto a beautiful big stage like that and have an audience respond to her like that, you know, it's going to be a mind-blowing experience for her. So we kind of feel like, well, let's try and make it good for the audience too then.
Oh, you've definitely done that. I can't wait to see where it's going to go in season 4. It looks like she's going to be back to square one in some ways, and it's going to be exciting. I know you were in your episode, Dan, 1960. I could tell by the references to Bye Bye Birdie and Where the Boys Are and everything else. So much fun.
Some of our theater references, where we are.
So much fun to see you mix fiction and fact and the thing, and I just hope it goes on and on. Thank you so much for joining us on Contenders today.
Thank you for having us. We appreciate it.
All right.